Hello everyone. Hi, this is Souradeep here. A very good afternoon, very good evening to all of you. Can you hear my voice? If you can, please confirm that if you are able to hear my voice, then I can proceed. Great. Thank you. So there are a few seconds left. We will start just at 6 p.m. So let us begin. As you know, that the way this is structured, that the first 15 minutes of this session are taken generally by Vivek sir. Today he is on, he is not available. So I will be starting the session. I will be conducting for the first 20-25 minutes. And then we have a guest speaker among us. This is Ashish Kayal, sir. He will attend, he will guide us about his market opinion uh, after my first 15-20 minutes. So as the last week was, the similar was this week, but little bit less volatile. So last week what we had was where this horrible 400 point gap ups and gap downs, 400 point move, then a small day, then 400 point move on this gap down day, then next 400 point move, all this kind of move. This week, first 3 days, it was a little bit downtrend. Yesterday, we formed a kind of a hammer, and due to that hammer, we opened a gap up and we closed above the mid Bollinger. Okay, but still, we are not out of the woods, I would say, until and unless we are uh, sustaining above this 16,480. This will be a resistance zone, 16,420 to 16,480. We are still within this range, and until we cross this 16,420, 430, now we are still in the downtrend, you can say. This is a kind of pullback within this downtrend. The last 2 months have been very difficult since the war has started, to be honest, for traders, because if you see the this was the month of April majorly. You can see all these gap ups and gap down and within a range. Then suddenly, towards the end, beginning of May, we thought that it was beginning to actually go down, because we had this down move at the start of the May, when market had fallen like this much, like from here to here it was very smooth, and then again it has started within this range. So only, I would say, 6-7 trading days of good price action, that is directional price action, and then again this range play has started. So apart from this 6, 7 or 8 days, market has been generally difficult, because see, uh, when market is in this kind of a range, when market is uh, in this kind of a range, it becomes very difficult as a trader to participate into the market. Okay, when market moves like this, when market moves like this, you have a direction. When market moves like this, that happened, you have a direction. Those are easier to play when market moves like this. When market moves like this, these are the periods where the traders make most of the money. But on the other hand, when market are in phases like this, and you can see there have been multiple phases like this in recent past. Let me remove this one. It will also remove this one. So basically, these 4-5 phases, okay, where money making is not easy. See, range bound is something different. What I am trying to say, And this has happened over the last 6 months. We have five such periods. See, this is also range bound, but you don't get that much hampered during this phase, because this is not happening with a lot of gap ups and gap down. Okay, this is still manageable. But when market behaves like with this erratic gap ups and gap down, that last these five pages that I'm uh, showing you, and probably this part also, see, sudden down move and then sudden up move, it becomes really difficult for a trader to participate into the market. And we have quite a few phases like this in the last 6 7 months. See, earlier than that, we did not have phases like this. If you see, earlier than this, it was a smooth ride since COVID, and even before COVID, also used to be market used to be in a very generic rhythm like phase. Okay, not this huge gap ups and gap down. This is a very recent phenomena. You have to understand what is happening over the last 6 7 months. This highly range bound and gap up and gap down phases, your overnight positions often get uh, triggered with the stop loss, because often you will see the stock you are holding opening, and these are random gap ups and gap downs. And so what happens is that whatever stock you are holding, you will suddenly see that the legitimate 3% or 4% stop loss you are having, the next day it is opening beyond that, and you have to book loss. And probably once you book the loss, the stock start reversing. So you have to understand, when you face phases like this, the best thing to do is to trade less. You cannot trade and make money anyhow in this kind of a market. See, I'm not talking about range bound phases. See, these were also range bound phases before COVID. These were also range bound phases. In range bound phases, you make very good money by selling options. But in this kind of market, you cannot deploy that kind of tactics also. And quite often, uh, this kind of market is happening. And trust me, anyway, because there is no direction, there are random huge range gap up. And see, what was the range? 16,800 to 17,400, 600 point range. Here also, 17,000, 15,700 to 16,400. It is very difficult to play the range. Yesterday, I was thinking of giving a buy trade to my students when market would have come to 16,800. It did not come to 16,800, and in the second half there was a ferocious rally in the bank nifty, and then this kind of a candle was formed. So it not necessarily always hit the upper end, not necessarily always hit the lower end, so that you can give or take trades according to that. And if you are not making money in this phase, it is okay. And you have to understand why this phase is happening and why this kind of phases were not happening earlier. See, the main reason this kind of phases are happening is that global news flow has been very sharp, or very, I would say, critical news flow is coming to India overnight since the September. What has happened is that from last September, if you look at this crude oil part for a second, just a second. If you see the natural gas uh, from last September, okay, you can see from $3 half dollar it has gone to $9. Okay, you can see the commodities, the way they have risen, and especially crude oil that affects India. Okay, so if I'm talking about crude oil future, so from last September you can see, so this is Indian crude oil. Let me put WTI. So in the monthly chart, you can see uh, no, this is not the one I'm trying to find out. Basically, CL1. This is the crude oil future. So you can see from December 2001 or September, the moment it has crossed 70 and gone in the range of 100 and 90, 100, 113, 14, what it is trading now. This kind of overnight move has been happening. Why? Because if suddenly overnight crude oil is jumping in a particular way or falling in a particular way, next day this gap up and gap down are often happening in Nifty. And also the due to the geopolitical tensions that are happening for last 3 months in the western part of the world in Ukraine, you can see this kind of phases actually coming into play into the market, and these are very difficult market because you cannot. Let me show you why. Okay, opening this. Okay, so if I go to the option chain now, see right now Nifty is around 16,350. Now, if you think the range is 16,400, now see the option premium is 124 rupees, and on the other hand, uh, 15,800, 900 option premium would be negligible. Okay, so 24 rupees. Now, by selling these options, you are getting at max how much premium? 150 rupees. But often there are 250, 200 point gap ups and gap down. So by overnight selling these options, you are not getting any benefit because there will be huge gap ups and gap down, and that will take out any kind of profit that you will have. And you cannot buy them also. Some may say that why cannot I go overnight and buy them? Because see, every day this gap up or gap down is not happening. So you cannot make money on a consistent basis by buying options overnight also, because theta decay will be there. So these are very difficult periods in the market to actually participate, and especially those who are index traders, uh, it is very difficult. And if I'm talking about stocks, see, stocks are consistently falling. If I talk about TCS, see, 5-6 days they will consolidate one big fall, then again consolidation, one big fall, then again consolidation for 1 or 2 days. So in general, there is no trend like this when market will be trending and falling, market will be trending and falling, market will be trending and rising. And that is why, and these daily candles you can see for a stable stock like TCS also, 3382 to 3212, which is 6-7%. So it is very difficult to have a positional trade also at this uh, point when the market is so volatile and so prone to news. See, I have given only 3 trades to my TMP students this week. 2 trades have succeeded. 1 trade is still waiting. 2 trades were option trades. These when Nifty was here, Nifty was on this Monday and Tuesday. On Monday, when market was near the top, and the Tuesday when market was again falling, I gave sale trades to my students. On Wednesday, it started falling from the very beginning. I normally gave trades after market settling down on these 2 days, but on this very particular day, market started falling from the very beginning and went towards low. I could not give a trade. Yesterday was so volatile. An expiry, I did not give a trade. Today, I gave Bajaj Finance. Once it broke out of this ascending triangle, though RSI was below 50, because financial stocks were doing good, I have given this trade, but it is 1% down. And you can see the beauty with, and I gave a sale trade in Bajaj Finance when it reached 5,800. And after that, I was expecting a fall. It had fallen only 200, 300 points in 2 days. After that, it is again this kind of a move, which is unpredictable. So when market is falling like this or market is rising like this, these are tradable market. But when market is in this kind of a range, please understand, you cannot do anything. Today there was a breakout. I gave trade. I don't know it will be successful or not. See, similar situation was here. It got successful. Similar setup is here. I gave this trade. This particular trade will succeed or not, I don't know. But chances are there that it will succeed if there is a follow-up rally. But overall, you have to understand this is a market where money making has become really difficult. Will it continue forever? No. If you see any stock, any index in the past, this kind of price action does not continue in the market for long. This kind of price action does not continue in the market for long. For last 6, 7 months or 8 months, it could have resolved, but again, from the March, April, what it has started, uh, it has intensified from March, April, since there was the invasion in Ukraine. It is almost 3 months now. It is continuing. So in these 3 months, this thing has increased, and I don't think this will continue, because if I go back in history, I will rarely find this kind of a price action, even in the bear phase. See, I'm going very much back into the history. I don't find this kind of price action. Here I find for some point of time. Here I find for some point of time. But this kind of gap up, gap down scenario for long, I really don't find in the history. So we have to understand that this is a very incredible period of time where the uh, best thing is to actually trade less, trade very less, and our success ratio won't be very high. And possibly we should be happy. We cannot leave the market, but possibly we should be happy if we are not losing a lot of money. Even if we are not making a lot of money in this kind of phases, it is fine, because in between I will get phases like this, I will be making money. But when these kind of phases are coming, if I am losing maybe 1 or 2% of my capital, or I am not making any money, then also fine. So if people have not lost more than 2% of their capital in May, they should be fine. In this part of April, if people have not lost a lot of money, they should be happy, because when this fall came, they should have made good amount of money. When this rise came, they should have made good amount of money. When this fall came, they should have made good amount of money. So you understand that these kind of 2, 3 weeks kind of phase will come, and if you are not losing more than 2, 3% of your money, it is fine. But if you are losing money, a lot of money in this phase, then you have to gain much bigger amount during this kind of phases, because these kind of phases are there to make money. Because all of you remember, I was very bearish when market broke this level 16,700, and gave all through bearish puts in my TMP, and the bearish stock ideas, and it fell from 16,700 to 15,700. 1,000 point fall happened over a period of 6 days. But you can understand, whatever you might have gained, suppose you gained here 1 lakh rupees, you cannot lose more than 20,000 during this phase, because when market is starting this kind of a gap up, gap down, you should restrict yourself. And as I have always told you, when this lower volume just started curling, so this is the time that this phase can go into a sideways movement. Like, see, when it was falling, when this lower volume there started curling, it is the phase that it can go sideways. Similarly, it was an up move, but the moment the upper volume there curled, it can result into this kind of fears. That is the time you should lower your position. I will talk a little bit about global macros and then give it to Kayal sir. Only thing is that, see, if you see the global commodity markets, the crude oil, the natural gas are rising a lot, and you can see that the base metals also have been going up. Lead, zinc, iron ore, all have been going up because China is reopening from June 1st, and it is going to be a kind of scenario. And if I'm talking about this uh, commodity basket, agri commodities are on a roll. Every country which is neighbor to India, the Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Pakistan are facing food shortage. If I search food shortage, and see, Google is very intelligent, okay, and that's why it is showing me news around my country. See, this is Pakistan, this is Bhutan. So because our neighborhood nations, they are showing it is happening in many other countries due to the war. You can see here for uh, Nifty, I just can only say until it crosses 14,000, 16,500, it is very difficult to be constructively bullish in this. But in Bank Nifty, I would like to say that we have crossed this important resistance. Okay, we have crossed this important resistance in Bank Nifty, which is 34,800 to 35,200. Quite likely that we will go first towards this 36,200, and 37,000 also we can go. Okay, on the upper side, 36,700, 800, 900 we can go. Bank Nifty is really bullish. You can see, unlike Nifty, it has crossed this trend line and moving higher. One more important point. So have a little bit bullish view on the Bank Nifty. Try to trade it on the bullish side. I have set up like this. So what I do is that this is a 15-minute setup. I can alter it to 5 minutes, 15 minutes. So if I'm looking at it in a 15-minute setup, uh, the moment it comes back near this super trend, and when it is below this super trend, see, look at the setup. Okay, this is not the same for Nifty and Bank Nifty. Okay, in the Nifty, I use 10 high low 2.5. Okay, super trend, because that suits the Nifty very well. Okay, and the RSI is 2134. For Bank Nifty, I use 10 1.85 super trend, and RSI is again 2134. Okay, so the setups are different because the volatility level in Bank Nifty is quite high. So this acts as a good guiding light in the case of a if I want to give some trades, positional trades to you in the Bank Nifty intraday directional trade. If I want to give, they act act in a very nice manner. So keep this setup in your, again repeating, for Nifty super trend 10 2.5, and for Bank Nifty 10 1.85 and 2134. Here 2134 here is the RSI. Simple setup for the direction. Otherwise, stock wise, I don't have much view until unless Nifty crosses this 16,500. Overall, market is bearish, and overall, this crude oil is very bullish. Yeah, this point I need to cover one thing. See, Nifty has stopped being the worst performing market. It used to be a stock worst performing, one of the worst performing market in between, but you can see it has become a medium performing market. The European and Brazilian markets are doing great, and Dow, which was one of the worst performing market, has come up very sharply. Okay, Nasdaq is CNX IT is still on the lower side, but they have come off a lot. This thing, and this also I mentioned in my all the groups in the StockEdge club. Also, I had mentioned this. So if I go to the StockEdge social, you can see if stock ideas group, I mentioned this. This one. See, this is a 4 hourly chart of Dow Jones. I said when it was happening 2 days ago that if this level is crossed, Dow Jones can become really bullish. And if this is not crossed, uh, and Dow Jones goes below 31,700, it can fall. What eventually it did is that I have tweeted about this also. I have shown this in the TMP groups also. But what has happened after this is that Dow Jones has crossed this, and now again it is at a resistance of 32,700. If 32,700 is crossed, Dow Jones can really pull back quite a bit, and in that case, Nifty Bank Nifty can have a little bit more up move. Okay, RSI, it has started going above 50. You can see, so let us watch if it trades out 32,700. If it goes below 32,700, then it can again have a down move. But right now, the momentum is in favor of the up move, and that is how it is doing. From here, I will like to hand it over to Kayalji. Hi, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. I thought you were speaking, so I didn't unmute myself. Fantastic. Uh, Great. So I'm sharing my screen also. I'm not sure if my screen is visible. Just a second, please. Okay. Just one moment. Chat is here. Q&A and Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. I am assuming आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही होगी, and we will be keeping this in English and Hindi mix if that is okay with you all. And it's pleasure always to be speaking on the Elearn platform. It's my I'm really glad I've given the opportunity to be speaking here. I'm going to keep my cam off just in case. Just one second. And to save on the bandwidth, I can just turn it on for a while just in case you want to see me. And it's always pleasure to be talking on the platform. It's always wonderful to be talking, and I love talking about markets, talking about wave theory, time cycles, and any subject or any questions that you might have. So I'll be more than happy to address your queries and doubts. You can post it in the chat, or I think in the Q&A box which is there, and I'll be more than happy to talk about that. There is no fixed topic that I want to speak on right now, but as I do on Fridays about Nifty and want to know what is happening with Nifty, what is the trend, कंफ्यूजन है। स्टेट और जो मार्केट का माहौल है वो ऐसा है कि या तो यहाँ से नीचे जाएगा या ऊपर जाएगा। जब ऊपर जाता है तो लगता है ब्रेकआउट आएगा, वहीं से रिवर्स होता है, नीचे जाता है तो लगता है ब्रेकडाउन आएगा और वहीं से रिवर्स होता है। दैट्स द स्टेट ऑफ द मार्केट. So in this nature of the market, which are the indicators that you need to keep a watch on that can help you to, form a very good trading setup and trade strategy. And we will use that. I'll talk about some extent of wave theory also, because that's a very powerful technique and will be really helpful for forecasting the market, how it's going to go from here on and in the future. So let me just now stop myself from the webcam and let's focus on the charts. That's what we want to do now. तो अगर आप मेरी स्क्रीन देख पा रहे हैं, we will go on a daily time frame chart of Nifty. We just want to see कि हो क्या रहा है मार्केट में. Overall, I'll talk a little bit more about time cycles also. It's a very simple concept that everyone can understand. It's not very complicated. People think कि wave theory complicated है या time cycles complicated है. वैसा नहीं है. ये बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्सेप्ट है, और अगर आपको ये पता है तो यू कैन एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंड वेदर द ट्रेंड इज रिवर्सिंग और नॉट, बिकॉज दिस इज वन सच tool or techniques over nearly around 15 years I have come across, and I've been doing a lot of things on these techniques, and it has worked exceptionally well for me in terms of investments, in terms of trading, in terms of options. For every such thing, it has been a fantastic study. सो निफ्टी पे ये आप जो देख रहे हैं फिलहाल जो बना हुआ है, दैट्स अ डेली टाइम फ्रेम चार्ट, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू समथिंग वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग हियर. जस्ट अ सेकंड. या so I'm going to show you a very interesting concept which is about this time cycle that you are seeing on the chart over here. This is a cycle which I've been using for a decade now. So time cycle का मतलब क्या होता है? Let us just try and understand what does time cycle mean. I'm sure आपको पता होगा थोड़ा बहुत कुछ तो, लेकिन everything is governed by time. If you understand that, you will understand the logic behind the market movement. If you look at the news and try to make sense out of the market movement, you will be possibly very late, क्योंकि market का movement और जो news और event है, that is a lagging effect. Try and understand. Nifty or Dow Jones or any such market for that matter is trying to discount what's going to happen in the future. That is future discount कर रहा है market present time में. But if you look at the news that is coming, the news is always lagging. So if you are trading on the basis of the news or the event, this is you are going to be late. आपने देखा होगा कि रिजल्ट्स अनाउंस हुआ, डीवीज लैब का लास्ट वीक में रिजल्ट आया. द रिजल्ट वर एक्सेप्शनली गुड, but the stock was down by 10% on the same day and much more the next day. That's how the stock behaved. And if you look at the overall, if you look at the forecasting tools, which is Elliott wave or time or patterns for that matter, you will understand that these are forward looking. These are not बैकवर्ड लुकिंग. आप हिस्ट्री भले ही लेते हो समझने के लिए, लेकिन आप फ्यूचर में क्या होगा उसे प्रेडिक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हो. when you are predicting future, it is always uncertain. When you are in fact buying a stock or index or commodity for that matter, आपका prediction already है कि वो ऊपर जाएगा इसलिए आपने buy किया. That is an assumption that way. So it's important that you understand this very very clearly. I'm showing you a chart which is on the basis of a trend basis of a time cycle. Now, are you able to see my chart here? I think Dhawal is not able to see, but are you able to see over here? Just a second. आपको मेरा screen दिख रहा है? I'm assuming कि screen is visible. Okay, yes, fantastic. So if you are able to see my screen, I have drawn a line. These are the vertical lines. I'll just take these lines a little more backward so that it coincides with the past data also to some extent. And you will be amazed to see how brilliantly it has continued to work. This line that you can see it on the screen here is actually a 55 days time cycle, which is indicating that every 55 day, every near around, मतलब 55 days does not mean it will happen exactly on that day. It might be plus minus 2-3 days, plus minus हो सकता है. Around that area, that's the time frame when market starts looking forward for a buying opportunity. You should start looking for a buying opportunity because market start changing the trend, especially if it is from the support of some channel or trend line or price action reversal areas. So if you look at this I'm just taking a recent examples of 5-6 data points over here, because let's not go much in the past. If you look at this, you will realize that the every from here there was a bottom formed around this area. I'm saying maybe 2-3 days plus minus. A low formed and the market rallied big time on the upside. Again around this area, a low formed just around that. It was whipsawing for sideways and the trend continued on the upside. A low formed here, the trend rallied, or the market rallied on the upside. The low formed here exactly on the day when it is supposed to be, and Nifty rallied from nearly around 16,450 towards around that 18,300 mark. Now if I look at the current context, the current market scenario, again here at this point of time a low formed and the markets rallied. तो सोचने वाली बात यह है कि रशिया यूक्रेन वॉर हो, कि कोई इवेंट हो, कि चाइना का न्यूज हो, या यूएस का फेड मीट हो, markets are doing actually what it is anyway supposed to do. That's the thing. And every 55 day something changes. This is what we are observing now again. So the current 55 day is actually going to be falling on 30th of May. थोड़ा सा cycle proper है. So 30th of May, around that area, we are already 2 days prior to 30th of May, which is 26th, 30th, because of Saturday, Sunday. These are calendar days. Just around that area, if you check, the market has already rallied. Can you see that? From there, it has already starting to bottom out and showing you going on the upside. Now, how do we plot it on the cycle? How do we plot this thing on the trading view is what you are asking. So इसे plot कैसे करना है? Let me just explain it to you कि how do you plot it across. So if you go on the chart here, I'm showing it on a full screen itself. Trading view में there is on the right hand side you have those things, so you can't really remove it. So it's fine. I mean, एक और चीज, since you asked, you should always see a chart on a square format. Square, the width and the height should be similar. Okay, never in a horizontal or a vertical format. Trust me, this is one of the blunders people have done by looking at a horizontal chart. उसमें ट्रेंड दिखेगा ही नहीं. अगर आपको चार्ट बहुत हॉरिजॉन्टल कर दिया, you will miss out the entire trend. It will look only horizontal. And if you make it more vertical, you will see very steep trends. So you will miss out everything when you change the way in the chart is supposed to be seen. It's very important. ये चीज बहुत कम जन practice करते होंगे. I'm not sure, but this requires a lot of experience, or as a trader you should know this thing. बहुत important है. So I'm not getting into the detail on how to plot what square chart, but I will show you how to plot a time cycle here. So if you go on this tool, यहाँ पर एक tool है जिसमें Elliott wave patterns labelings है. Along with that you have a cyclic lines here. ठीक है? You can select a cyclic lines, select a point. Say for example, I'm just selecting a point here and dragging it on the right hand side. Drop it anywhere. Double click on this, you will see a coordinate. Okay, this coordinate is showing you 26 and 70. So when you subtract 26 from 70, it is 44. लेकिन हमें क्या चाहिए? We want a 55-day cycle, right? So if you want a 55-day cycle, what should be the coordinate? I want everyone to participate. Okay, you need to simply take 26, add 55 to that, you get 81, right? Do you agree with me? My math is little poor, So you can use a calculator and confirm that. So 81 यहाँ पर coordinate अगर हम डालेंगे, so you can clearly be able to understand that 81. Okay, why is it not typing? I get a 55-day time cycle, which means every 55 period. But use it with a little caution, because you need to understand the complete science. This is a science of probability. Okay, this is not a science of certainty. This is a science of probability. You need to understand the science here so that you are able to do it correctly, and you know that this suggests that every specific period of time, chances of market reversing the trend is high. Fair enough. So if the trend is down and we are at a channel support, like we can see it over here, we are at a support of the channel and the trend was down and now it's reversing. So there is a possibility we will cross that 16,420 mark. 16,420 had been a major hurdle for the market to go on the upside. Multiple attempts done and it failed. Lekin given the fact that we have a 30th of May, which is a Monday, a cycle which is changing the mood, the social mood of the people is going to change, which is the driving force for the market, which means here is the time for looking for buying opportunity now, since the social mood is going to change. I can be wrong. If Nifty crash is back below that 5900 mark, which I've been talking about and I've been tweeting across 5900 as the important level. In fact, today morning, basis of this, I have tweeted across, I'm not sure if you're checking that, I mentioned about 16,220 is where the Nifty should dip after the opening, and that's the opportunity where the time will reverse. This is basis of a shorter term time cycle. Nifty, and I also mentioned about 1130 as the area when it should happen. Nifty moved down towards 16,221. 1130, go back and check what happened. That's the power of time plus levels that you derive using wave theory and time cycles. So कहने का अर्थ ये है कि ये सब चीजें अगर आप combine कर रहे, it shows that there is something which is very powerful and working in the market, and you can forecast. So basis of this, my understanding and expectation for the coming week on the market is looking for a buying opportunity. The reason being, we have a time cycle which was bottoming today, which happened on a 15-minute time frame, which gave us a good level to enter. On a Monday, we might see a dip. If we get a dip, that will be an opportunity to buy again, because hamara 55-day cycle is bottoming out, and from there we should start seeing a upward thrust. Now how much will that go on the upside? So that is the question that comes in the mind. What should be our target then on the upside? For that, you have a multiple price actions areas, you have Fibonacci and you have wave theory. So there are multiple concepts that will define where how much the market or the prices can go on the upside. I'm just thinking if I should be talking about the new wave pattern, which is a diametric pattern, given that not everyone might be able to understand the pattern that I'm talking about. But since we are here, let me just explain it to you. A diametric pattern is something which is consisting of 7 legs, which is about a contraction. It's like a contracting triangle and an expanding triangle. I can annotate on the screen. Let me just check if I can do that from here. Yes, so let me just show it to you. So it is, how does that pattern look? So that pattern is essentially like a contraction, and then we start seeing an expansion. That's one of the way in which this pattern behaves. The other way in which the pattern behaves is an expansion and a contraction. जैसे आपने देखा होगा ट्रायंगल पैटर्न होता है, हेड एंड शोल्डर पैटर्न होता है, डबल बॉटम, डबल टॉप. Similarly, diametric is a pattern defined in neo wave, which is essentially a part of Elliott wave with a different pattern in place. So यहाँ पर the way I am seeing is this pattern of diametric, which is happening, started possibly from this level. Now, why this level and all of those things I can't get in detail right now, but it consists of 7 legs. So इसका मतलब हुआ यहाँ पर we might have a one second, yes, we might have wave A here, we might have wave B here, we might have C here, this can be wave D which completed, this can be wave E that completed here, we might have completed wave F now, and this can be a start of a upside move in the form, maybe Monday will confirm that, upside move possibly in the form of wave G, which can be a much bullish scenario. अगर आपने मेरा कोई भी वेबिनार या सुना होगा, when I talked about on Elearn last time, I was bearish until this day. The reason being, my time is changing. So if my time changes, I change my stand with a blink of an eye. I don't care what everyone thinks. That's how the trader should be. It does not matter if you are bearish. You should be with a blink of an eye. You should be okay to change your stand to bullish. If you keep waiting and the market continues to go against you, then that's where the blunder happens with majority of the people, because they don't know when to change from bullish to a bearish or a bearish to a bullish stand. That is very important that you have to understand. So given this fact, there is a possibility we might be not moving much lower now, given that there is a change in the underlying sentiment which can happen. This scenario remains valid as long as 15,900 is intact on the downside. Suppose this happens. Suppose if the market comes up from here and then starts moving lower and breaks this low, then something else is happening, and we will see that and all of those things. So our scenarios have changed. So this is a possibility, but over in the coming week, either of the scenario, I think it should be more bullish than bearish, which will surprise majority of the people who are still on the short side. They might be caught off guard. Monday will be the deciding day. 15,900 is the level that I will keep a watch on. Once 16,420 is taken out, I will be bullish at least for another 200, 300 points. At least is what I'm saying. Towards 16,700, 800 is what the minimum expectation is, what I'm having right now from the market. And then I will change my, I'll derive my view basis of how the pattern behaves, how the market behaves, what is the scenario. If we crash on Monday and we protect 5,900, then Tuesday will be the start of the up move. But since we are around this area of time, this is the zone. See, this is the zone where things reversed up. This is the zone, things reversed up. This is the zone, things reversed up. So that's the time frame when things are changing up. That's the time frame things are changing up, and that's why I change my mood. So I change my mood by what basis of what the market is suggesting, not on the basis of what I feel. I'm driven by market. I'm not driven by my emotions. That's very important. And basis of the studies that is suggesting. So basis of this, I've been always expecting that a F should be coming down. It did. It worked out brilliantly. Formed a channel. It formed a support near the channel, and now it's trying to reverse back. So time can be a day or two off. Time is always dynamic, right? What about FI selling? क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You know, this was the period when FIs were selling. I'm in sync. They are selling, which means I'm not saying this is an investing market. I'm saying this is a trader's market. This is not time to invest. This is a trader's market. You trade, make money, and get out. If you are not able to get out on time, you lose money. That's how the market is. So FIs are selling. They are very, very intelligent creatures, right? They are selling, which means they know something more. That's why you might possibly want to ride this trend by way of selling put options or maybe call options to start the initial thrust, and then keep writing the put options basis of the time and keep riding it, because trend can be weak. Earlier initial part should be fast, sharp, sudden, and then a slower momentum move can happen. That's how it will behave, and trust me, people will be surprised is what I am making out of the move that is possible, as long as 5900 is intact. So that's the disclaimer. Keep a watch on that 5900 level. If that breaches, I might change my stand again. So I'm okay doing that, but you might not be okay with me doing that, so you have to decide for yourself. Okay, any questions? I'm more than happy to answer. We have already more than what, 30 minutes passed since I started talking. Okay, 116,400 is taken out. This is really what we can expect as a conservative side. Straight away chasing the 200 EMA. I don't look at 200 EMA. I don't know where it is, to be honest. So jahan par bhi hai, maybe you can check where it is. How to draw a square chart? The screen that you are seeing right now in front of me is a square. It's nearly a square chart, so this is fine, because on the right hand side we have the data, because of which it is looking a square. This is a proper screen that you should be seeing. Do not extend it further on the right hand side. Can you show it on any cash stock? Not right now. I can't really show it on the cash stock. We are running out of time. So if I keep talking, I might take hours to talk about any new stock that I can talk about. Can you show the cyclical indicator again, please? Okay, cyclical indicator. There is one more way to draw the cycles. Let me just show it to you. But tell me, this is something different, the way to look at the markets. So if you go here, there is something known as time cycles as well. You can simply click on the time cycles here, click on this line, and you can plot it. It works fantastic. So you can just extend it a bit, adjust it a bit, and it works fantastic. So you can even draw cycles this way, or you can draw cycles the other way, which I have drawn. Both of this will work extremely well. When to be bearish? Break below 5900. But uske niche bhi, how is the movement? That we have to see. Is this setup every 55 days? Yes, and we are on that 55th day. So I'm again telling you, please just don't go buy just because there is a 55 day. आपको उसके बारे में पहले पूरा समझना होगा, how to go about it. Should also club it along with a smaller time frame charts on a 15-minute, and then club it with a wave theory. I'm sure Elearnpay, you can find out Elliott wave concepts that we have hosted. It's fantastic. Go through that. You'll simply love it. So club it with that wave theory and then the 55 day. Can this 55-day period can change in the future? Yes, it can, but it's been like a decade since I'm using it. I have not changed the period of 55. 54 tha pehle, which was around 7-8 years back. I made it 55. That's the only change which I have done so far. Okay, the indicator name in trading views दो है, time cycle है और cyclic lines है. You can use either of it. How can we use this in daily trade? Daily trade के लिए you need to go on a smaller time frame chart and plot a smaller time frame cycle. So you might want to go on a 15-minute chart and then okay, ये इधर है, इसको delete कर. On a 15 minutes, and then you might want to use it on a 15 minutes time frame and follow those cycles. So if you check, I have multiple time zones even drawn on 15 as a topping cycle, as a bottoming one. A lot of things are there. So that's how I do it. So 15 minutes follow a different time frame cycle. For daily trading, you might want to use that. For other trading, you might want to use something else. So that's how you have to use it. Okay. See, one thing I'll tell you, everything is governed by time, to be honest. If time is good, prices will follow. लेकिन टाइम ही एक ऐसी चीज है जिसपे सबसे कम इंपॉर्टेंस दिया गया है ट्रेडर्स के द्वारा. time is the most important aspect. WD Gann understood time, JM Hurst understood time, and they said that if time is not right, whatever you do will not work. होता है ना हमारे साथ भी, समय खराब है तो कुछ भी नहीं चलता है. अगर समय सब है सच है तो सभी चीज चलती है. तो this is about time. Okay, so see, there is 12 and a half year of solar cycle. There is a 28, 29 days of lunar cycle. And do you know 30th of May is also an Amavasya, which is again a representative of a change of trend. So we will see. We will see Monday. What number to use for intraday? But number के साथ में कहाँ से शुरू करना है, कैसे करना है, you have to understand that. Otherwise, you might do it wrongly, and I don't want you to lose money by doing something wrong. I've already shown, so please go through the recordings. You will be able to see how to plot this 55 days. I've already shown it in the start of the webinar. Great, guys. Then I think I just wanted to know, I mean, is this useful, or did you enjoy it, or how is the session so far that we talked about now? Okay, great. So I'm assuming fantastic. So great. So we will keep doing something like this on Elearn. It's a fantastic platform. Please use this as a platform. Keep following it, and I'm sure your learning will grow exponentially, and even mine. Okay, great. Then it's a pleasure always speaking here. Thank you, everyone. Love talking to you all. This is Ashish Kyal signing off now, and do ensure to get on the Elearn platform where we have a lot of products also. So see that. Time is something fascinating. You will be just missing out the entire picture so far. होता है ना कि यार पैसा बन रहा था, just थोड़े के लिए रह गया. And time, if you plug in with that time, it will change it. Trust me on that. It has changed my way of seeing the markets ever. It will change your way of seeing the markets. Just time. Add it to your whatever trade setup you are using, which is fantastic. Just add an element of time and you will see the difference. Trust me on that. It can be applied on stocks, Bitcoin, crude, gold, everywhere. Just apply and see the magic. I'm sure you will be able to do that. I'm always here for you. If you need any help, just get in touch with me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time.